first question. This is really just filling in, just kind of as a review. So, what are our options for shape?
Unimodal, bimodal, symmetric, or skewed.
Could there be such a thing as like trimodal?
We would just say multimodal.
No.
I don't know why I just wrote symmetrical, like, you know. Symmetric, uniform, and then skewed left or right. What about center? What are our options?
Is it median, median, or no? Mean?
Yep, median or mean. Median we use when it is multimodal or skewed. Mean is unimodal and symmetric. What are our options for spread?
Standard deviation and IQR.
Yep, standard deviation and IQR. We use standard deviation if it's unimodal and symmetric. IQR is multimodal, I cannot talk today clearly, and skewed or skewed. What are some unusual features?
Outliers or gaps.
Yep, outliers or gaps. With gaps, if they're there, we just want to comment on them. For outliers, we mention them and then consider removing and recalculating. And the main reason we want to remove outliers and recalculate is because there are times when it will drastically change our data. But if you do remove them and recalculate, make sure you note without outliers or something like that, so that it's clear that you've removed them, because your answer mathematically may look different if I didn't remove them or if I did and you didn't. Make a note that you either left them or that you've removed them or something like that.
So on a test, if we did that, we'd have to write somewhere that we removed the outlier.
Or just be recalculated without the outliers or something like that, so that way it's clear. If there's just one of them and it's not a super drastic one, if all your numbers are in the 20 to 50 range and then you have a number that's 400, I would remove that because it's going to throw something for a loop. But if it's, your outlier, your upper fence is 70 and that's 75, it's probably not going to change it too much. So just, if it seems drastic, I would remove it and run it again. But just make a note one way or the other, just so that, you have to comment that there are outliers anyways and say what they are, so you can just say I did remove them or I didn't remove them, basically. All right, this first example, I want to say it goes on. It does go on to the next page briefly, so just be aware of that. So we have side-by-side box plots, little box and whiskers, that show the cumulative college GPAs for sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And we are looking, taking an intro stats class in 2003. So which class has the lowest cumulative college GPA, and approximately what is that value?
Is it the seniors? Or is it like sophomore says
So notice the down here is a GPA of 1.5 all the way up to a 4.5. So pay attention to.
I'm like,
If you need to, like, you can turn it sideways so it's going left to right and look at it like that.
so it'd be the juniors then, right?
Yep. So the juniors, and I wrote on here that this is 1.6 because it's a little higher than the 1.5, but it's kind of hard to tell. So it was a GPA of 1.6.
And is finding like the approximate value just going from like where the first line and last line is, or no? Or is that like
I mean, basically, if I hadn't written this 1.6 on there for you, you would have looked to just see that it's a little higher than 1.5 and then just made a guess for what that number was.
oh, so we're literally only looking at those lines, not the boxes or anything yet?
No, I was looking at this. I was looking
That's
at
what I
this
mean.
line right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this one wasn't asking for. The lowest cumulative was just asking for the min value.
Okay.
Which class has the highest median GPA, and what is that GPA?
Sophomore?
Sophomores,
What is it?
2.5.
What did you say?
3.35.
Okay, I thought you said 2.25, and I was like, huh?
You got me rethinking. I was like, oh.
No, I just thought I misheard you, so I was like, what?
I mumbled.
So sophomores at 3.25.
I don't know why I wrote 3.24 on my paper. I didn't say it out loud. I didn't erase it.
All right. Which class has the largest range for GPA, and what is that GPA?
The juniors?
Okay, why? Or what is?
Just because they have like the longest line, I guess.
Yeah, so we can tell from the line that it's the longest one. All of these, even though they're not exactly even, these are all at the same level of a 4.0 right here, just so you know. And so the juniors for sure. The max value is 4.0. The min value, like I said, I wrote this in. You wouldn't necessarily be given that. You'd have to kind of infer that. But whatever you infer it to be, if you were like, it's a 1.65, like, okay, whatever. But that's a 1.6. So then the range is the difference between these two values, which would be a 2.4 cumulative GPA range.
Wait, it's going to 4?
The 3.75 is right here.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought it was the line right above it.
It just kind of write it on top of the.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, so I can leave this up on the screen for a second. We'll talk about D, and then I'll go to the next screen and write it. So, which class has the most symmetric set of GPAs?
Seniors?
Seniors, 'cause it looks like it's pretty even on what's above and below. Obviously, my picture's not perfect, but it looks pretty even. And then, what about the most skewed? In which direction is it skewed?
Right? Or would it be left?
Up.
So it would go numerical order.
So left.
Yeah, so left. So I'm going to go over and write that down. All right, so symmetric for the seniors, a left skew for the sophomores. And obviously the juniors were skewed as well, to a point, but not as skewed as the sophomores. So that's why we said sophomores. Forgot to give you a piece of information you need for this next one, so I'll have to write that in. All right, let me go ahead and write in the information that you need for this one. Count is 16, mean is 16.3, median is 16, standard deviation is 3.7, the min is 10, max is 22, Q1 is 14.5, Q3 is 20. So that would have all been given to you. Just the way it was on my paper, I didn't realize that was supposed to be given information. All right, so a survey conducted in the same college intro stats course asked students about the number of credit hours they were taking that quarter. A number of credit hours for a random sample of 16 students produced the histogram below. Which statistics would you use to identify the center and spread of this distribution and why? And just so you know, this random like tail looking thing that's right here doesn't mean anything. It's just a mark on the page. It was like where like a hole punch had gone through when I like copied and pasted the picture in. So what should we use for center and spread with this one? Based on the histogram. Or what do we notice about this histogram?
Bimodal.
It's bimodal, which pretty much automatically means what?
How a median and IQ are.
Median and IQ are. And, oh, we already said that. It's multimodal, or you can say bimodal, whatever. And it's slightly skewed left. And I can see that because this has like more going on this side than it does over here. So. All right, create a box plot for these data. The first thing that I really need to do before I can do that is I want to find my IQR, so that I know exactly what's going on. So IQR is Q3 minus Q1, which in this case is 20 minus 14.5, which is going to be 5.5. Check something really fast. Okay. I don't see any outliers. I just tested the math really fast just to check before we got too far into this. So create a box plot for these data. So I'm going to do it going like this direction. So I'm going to do increments of 5 from 0 to 25. And this is going to be number of credit hours. So when I do these, I will always do like my lines for my Q1, Q3, and median. So Q1 is at 14.5. And I'll a lot of times write above it what it is just for reference. Median is at 16. Q3 is at 20. And then that will create our box for us for the middle part. So here's Q3 median, just for reference. Now the max that I'm given is 22. So I'm going to draw that in. And that's my whisker on that side. On the other side, it's min of 10. So draw this whisker in over here. And you can kind of see that the left side is has a little bit more of a tail, which is why I said slightly skewed left earlier. So it kind of just a different way of displaying our data. But I almost think it's a little easier to see that it's slightly skewed in the box plot than it was in the histogram. And sometimes as you work through these problems, you may not have said anything about it being slightly skewed or skewed at all when you did part A, but after doing part B, you might be like, oh, I need to go back and add that. So sometimes the stuff that you'll do later in the problem may go back and adjust or whatever what you had in an initial part. Try not to do anything that's like super, super crazy, but just so you know. So then a few sentences describing this distribution. Basically what I would say is the distribution of credit hours is skewed left and bimodal. The center is a median of 16 credit hours, and the spread is an IQR of 5.5 credit hours. It doesn't have to be exactly that, but something along those lines that includes just a recap of what we did, basically. Any questions on this one?
I think it actually kind of makes sense.
I actually think this section's easier
That makes me feel great.
than the other sections that we've done so far. This actually might be one of my favorite sections in the stats book, if I'm being honest. I mean, I really like probability stuff, but we don't get to do as much with probability as I would like to.
Probability sounds like it would be fun, but I feel like it'd also be kind of like confusing. Because, like, I don't know, I feel like there's like a lot of factors to it. Is that true? Are there like a ton of factors of probability or like not really?
There can be, and with what we do, it's not so much, but it's a matter of like if I replace this or I don't replace this, like that's really where it comes into play. there's a lot I would love to do with probability that would be fun, but I don't get to do it because we don't have time to do it.
So is it really just kind of like a smaller unit?
It's just not as much like as if you take a true like probability and statistics course, like what I took in college, or like dual enrollment was a probability and statistics. It was called Prob and Stat. But this is just statistics, so it's just like a little piece of the
Yeah.
whole, kind of. All right. For this one, body temperature of students is taken each time a student goes through Carline. I kind of added that in after that COVID year. Do y'all remember getting your forehead scanned when you dropped off in Carline?
Yes.
I added that. That's why it has a smiley face.
Is this an extra page? It looks like, I think it might be the same page.
It might be because the printer, I printed it up here, and I tried to go through them, but I may have accidentally left them. If it's like a misprint page, it'll like say that it even though half the time the misprints aren't really misprints, but I just let it do its thing. It's fine.
Nice though, astronomical.
Yeah.
Can we even do anything while she's gone?
I mean, we can, but I'll probably just wait. Clearly, at this point, I can't get this. I need to just write something on here so I can get it to focus. Why is it not focusing? It's making me really mad. Let me see.
Those are really thick lines.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get a bit like crisp lines for it to focus in on when it refocuses, because that will help it to focus in correctly. Still feel like it's blurry.
Wait, so focusing on something that's not even there will just like help it focus?
Kinda. There we go.
Oh wait, never mind. I thought it was like, I don't know why I was thinking it was coming like directly from your screen.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, never mind.
Yeah, no.
That won't make any sense then, because there would be nothing to, I don't know what I thought.
I'm gonna go ahead and set up over here where I'm gonna draw my box plot while we wait for her. Just so that's done. Needs to go from, I would say, 96 to 102 based on the numbers that we have. Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Oh yeah, because we have a mark thing due.
I went in the computer lab earlier, and several people were in the lab like watching videos, and I was thinking, I highly doubt this is for school.
Probably not.
But I was like, I'll give the benefit of the doubt. So I asked, I was like, is that for school? Because when I walked in, they all went, which usually tells you it's probably not what they're supposed to be doing. Anyways, and they were like, yes, it actually is. And I kind of looked at them, and they were like, can you watch this and like make like give us like observations? I was like, I really don't have time to do that right now, but like it was for forensics. Yeah. So they were supposed to be watching and making observations, and then I guess like asking somebody else to watch and make observations too or something. But I was really confused, and I was like, all right, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt on this one. Huh?
We did do that.
Oh,
yesterday.
okay.
Like some were like allowed to go to the lab and do that. Yeah.
Okay, well that means I was just so funny because like they were watching like a commercial or something, and I was like,
Yeah, we had to
I
watch like
feel
a Doritos
like
commercial.
that's not this, but I was like, okay.
Yeah, we had to watch like a Doritos commercial.
I
and, like,
think this one was a Geico commercial, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. I just was like, okay. I was like, sorry, I don't have time. Maybe later.
Yeah. The one you gotta watch out for if like somebody's leaving your class is like, for some reason the one excuse that I hear a lot is like, I gotta write a report for history. There's almost never a report in history.
Oh, I just text the teacher, and I'm like, they say they have this, and they're like, no, they don't. I'm like, all
Yeah,
right.
that's smart. Because some teachers just don't ask. They'll just be like, oh, okay, you can go. And then they just don't do anything.
Well, that's what, sometimes we don't ask like right away, but like one day we were sitting at lunch, And I want to say somebody came in and said there was like a report for Bible. And so one of us was like, hey, did they have a report for Bible to do? And Mr. Webster was like, no.
You chose the wrong team.
He was like, we never do
Yeah, he's
anything
never
like
done
that. So then,
You chose the wrong
they,
team.
I don't know what student it was, and I don't remember what teacher. It wasn't me, but they ended up getting called out for it because they said they were going to do something for Bible that wasn't. He said the only thing it could be was faith in action, but he goes, but even that doesn't make sense or
Yeah,
something.
you don't type that out.
Yeah,
so.
that's why he was like, it doesn't make sense. Because it wasn't even time for Faith in Action to be turned in. Like, it was like mid-quarter. It's like, I don't know. Anyways,
Maybe if it was like Mr. Sags, but
Yeah, I
like,
don't
past
even think
it-
he did really.
Well,
For
like
essays.
if it was essay, but like we never typed it.
yeah.
That's just such, I don't know, that's just a weird class to pick.
And then he said something, somebody asked him if they could go to work on a report for history, and Miss Greer was like, they don't have a report for history.
She usually doesn't have a report. It's like once or twice.
Yeah.
a year,
She
so
was
it's
like, occasionally, she's like, but I'll let you know when there is. Like, it was just funny. But I just check, since I'm right here, I just go in there and check and see what you're doing if you ask to go in there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
That's Miss Patton does. She'll come back every like 5 or 10 minutes.
I just watch the camera.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Oh, wait, do you have a camera just right there?
I mean, I can watch what's going on all over the school from my thing. Yeah.
That's kind of neat.
She plugged in.
The other day there were some kids goofing off. It sounded like they were goofing off in the lab, so I like clicked in to see what they were doing.
Imagine you could speak through it, like you'd be like, what are you doing?
I could just call in there and be like, you need to put that down, and they would be like,
You should do that. I want to see that happen like one
Or
time.
just like
You
stare
should
at
like,
them.
you
Yeah.
should like,
they were actually with a teacher. They were just doing something like a lab, like a virtual lab or something.
You gotta
So
wait till there's not a teacher there and just like
You
just say
should call in
something.
there and
be like,
just,
y'all are being too loud. You need to quiet it down.
Yeah.
like, are you able to like?
My dad did that one day. There was because he used to work on campus, and so like he would watch the camera periodically or whatever, and so there were some people playing like balling up paper and like throwing them like basketballs across the room and like
Yeah.
epically missing the trash can, and so he like called in and he was like, the bell's about to ring. Y'all need to make sure that you pick all that up, and they were like.
Where is he?
And then they were like, yes, sir, we'll make sure it gets cleaned up, sir.
See, that's how I react. Cause like I didn't even know that was a thing that you would just like look at cameras and you just could call into the room. Like that'd be kind of neat.
And I'd be like, where are they watching?
Yeah.
Big Brother's always watching.
Mhm.
All right, let's see if we can get through this problem. It should be pretty fast.
The rest of this is homework, right? Like we'll have to have all this done by tomorrow.
Oh, no.
Oh.
We're
okay.
not done with examples. We'll do examples tomorrow. I hope we'll finish the examples tomorrow. And then the rest of the packet, the one that says, you don't even have the homework packet yet. I still
Okay.
have that packet. But we have a 5-number summary here for this temperatures of the students on that particular day. Would you expect the mean temperature of all students who have visited the nurse's office to be higher or lower than the median? So we need to draw a visual of this first to be able to answer that question. So our median is at 98.25. Oh, that just drew an interesting shape.
Oh, I missed it.
Yeah, diamond almost.
It was like a diamond with a line through it.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, I
I was
didn't see
like
that.
this. No, it didn't do it that time.
Prism or something.
It didn't do it. I don't know what's now it just
I believe it. I saw it.
anyways, that's the median. And then as far as Q3 is 98.6, which is what? 3rd grade. Anybody remember?
Which is what?
98.6 is what?
Oh, like the
Temperature.
ideal temper. Yeah.
Normal body temperature.
I thought
So they've actually lowered that in the last several years, that it's actually
not
lower than
98.6?
that. Huh?
It's not 98.6 anymore.
Apparently not.
What is it?
They just now say that it ranges so much from person. Some people's normal body temperature is 90, like over 99. Mine is like 97.7.
mine's like
pretty
always
consistently.
98.6.
I think mine's been 96.
Mine used to be, but then it like got, I don't know.
Mine's like 98.3.
But and I'm talking about the forehead scanner one, like the one that goes in my mouth. I would usually read like 98 something.
Then I
But
found out I could take Dayquil because I took it once and my temperature was like 103 or something.
gosh,
I know.
You like almost died from it.
Yeah, so now I'm too scared to take it. I wonder if I would just die if I took night mode.
I don't think so.
In your sleep.
Yeah, I just never wake up.
I mean, that's kind of a good way to go out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Unless you like wake up in the middle of dying, that's probably
Like,
not
oh,
great.
I think I'm
Like,
gonna
that's
die.
probably not good.
The min is 96.6. Max is 101.8. Pretty sure that person had fever. But that's why, unless your temperature is over 100.4, they won't send you home. But, like, for me, if I'm at 100.4, I probably should be going to the doctor because
Yeah.
my temperature, that's, like, high for me.
Yeah, I think
Since it's,
100
like, normally reads, like, 97 something.
I think 100 or like 101. That's when it's high for me.
Yeah.
For me, like, if it gets to 99, I'm, like,
Yeah, but sometimes
like,
like,
dying.
I think like I'm like way over 100, and I'll just be like 99. I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
but I just kind of know, like, if I'm, like, okay or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
exactly.
All right, so what do you notice about this now that we couldn't have seen without
Skewed.
drawing this?
Skewed right.
Yep, it is skewed right because the mean is greater than the median. We
So
also,
when it's skewed right, the mean's greater than the median, but left the median's greater than the mean.
yes.
I always get that mixed up.
So basically, if the box is on the left side, it's skewed right. Right.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
still looking for the tail. So without drawing it, we could have figured that out because mean was greater than, well, you didn't have the mean given to you, so disregard that.
Is it raining?
I don't think it's supposed to.
It's just like felt kind of dark, but I don't know if that's just.
It's supposed to feel like that for like a couple days this week. I think it's
I thought
just.
you
Okay.
had like intuition.
I know. I was like,
I was just
She's like
curious.
this whole.
I just started thinking. Dude, I wish I was like those people that like they could feel it in their joints. You know, the ones that are just like my back hurts.
I
and
can
it's
feel
like
it in my head.
You can?
Yes, it's the pressure.
Yep.
Mhm.
I can't feel that. I don't understand that.
I
like,
think
at
it's
all.
gonna rain because I've had a migraine for the past 2 days. That's why I'm wearing my glasses. And every time after it has a storm or something.
I think it is
Like
this
the moment you take
weekend.
your glasses off, it just like
so weird with your
Huh?
glasses.
like the moment you just take your glasses off,
They
it just
look
rains.
so big on your face.
Okay.
Alright.
IQR is Q3 minus Q1, so 98.6 minus 97.85, which is 0.75. So we want to find out if there's any outliers, so I need that. So for my lower fence, I do Q1, which is 97.85, minus, it's 1.5 times IQR. So 1.5 times 0.75, and just for the sake of time, that's 96.72. Then 98.6, which is my Q3, plus 1.5 times 0.75 is 99.7. I can't tell if it's a 2 or a 3 on my paper. I'm going to write a 3, but just know if you actually do the math, it might be off by like a decimal, 0.02, 0.01, something in there. So, are there any outliers?
I feel like since you're asking that, that's a yeah.
Alright, wait.
Look at the min and look at the max, and then look at my fences.
Wait.
So is
Oh,
96.6 in the range?
No.
No, so I know that's an outlier.
Wait. But
Is
if it's, like-
101.8 in the range?
Yeah.
If it's
So
the
it's an
minimum-
outlier.
I'm confused because if it's like the in between like the minimum and the max, how is it like an outlier?
I think I had it mixed up.
These values are the fences. Anything outside of the range of 96.72 to 99.73 is an outlier.
Okay.
So I know that the min and the max are outliers because they are outside the fences.
Wait, how are they? I'm confused.
Hey guys.
I don't get it.
So
A little bit.
this is the range that it has to be between.
And is that because?
This is like
That.
this is like your fenced in yard,
Okay.
okay? And your dog or your cat escaped and is outside of that.
Okay.
He's now an outlier because he's not inside the fence anymore. So
So-
96.6 is not in this range. It is less than my lower fence
And what,
value.
like,
So
why
it's
does
an
it have to
outlier.
be in that range? Like why? Where did you? Get
Because
that?
anything outside of that is an outlier. It was the formula I gave in the notes yesterday.
Okay.
Q1 minus 1.5 times IQR or Q3 plus 1.5 times IQR. Anything outside of that is a problem.
Okay. So that what you're doing right there, that's how you figured that out.
Yes, which
Okay,
is what we'll
okay.
end up writing down here to
Got it.
start with tomorrow. And then we'll get to look at moose burgers and McTofu.
Oh.
Cool.
And you'll need to put numbers in your list, so like we'll just have a high old time with that tomorrow.
Moose